Hello and welcome to an Aura Cloud Plus Training as a Service video snippet. Learn to use and configure Oracle's Fusion Cloud applications in minutes, not hours. Hello and welcome to the sneak peek video presentation for purchase orders. The video presentation is going to take a quick walk through the purchase order functional work area. So as you can see here, we are logged into the seated environments as Calvin Roth. Under the procurement offering, you have a series of different applications, or what are also called functional work areas, of which purchase orders is one. So we're going to select the purchase orders functional work area, and that takes us to what's called the overview page. The overview page has a series of what they call infolets. They call them infolets because they cross functional work areas as opposed to info tiles, which like in the invoices that stay just within that functional work area. And so these infolets are designed to provide some information for this particular requester and some detail he or she may need, as well as some regions that click into groupings of transactions based on usually status. You can see that those, in this case, all of the different purchase order information here is being displayed within the purchase order tab, browser tab, and they have different application tabs at this level. So that's a little bit about the overview page. If you wanted to refresh those tiles, you could do so. If you wanted to add and delete those tiles, you could also do so as such. So next, let's go ahead and move our eye here to the different tabs that are here. And so now I'm going to open up the taskbar, and you can see something here. If you're thinking to yourself, this looks very similar to the purchase agreements page, you're right. It looks identically similar, barring that you've made security changes. So let's quickly walk through the different tasks that can be performed from the purchase orders task panel. First, we have requisitioning tasks. Of particular note is our buyer workbench, or what we call process requisitions. We can also import and view rec lines. We have some order tasks. We can manage, create, generate, or import purchase orders. We have some agreement tasks where we can manage, create, import different kinds of agreements. Those are often created in other applications, let's say for contracts. And then here we have some different price updates as well as generating ASL entries. Next, deliverables. So this is the ability for you or the user to see the deliverables. So deliverables most often are associated with both sourcing events and contracts for compliance. And so these deliverables will do that. Next, you have a series of tasks that help you research and manage your supplier base. And then finally, a series of tasks which help with administration of, for example, closing schedules, reassigning documents, etc., working with buyer config. So next up, you have the ability to search through all of your different transactions here. On this particular page, you can have advanced searched as well. If you want to see transactions you have been in before, this is a good way to do so. A little bit different, but the same feel as, let's say, favorites. And then finally, down here, you have a way to kick into reports and analytics. So anybody that has created or had created for them different OTBI reports, they can use this kind of, if you were Legacy LAN work center, has that kind of feel to it. And so if you as a user create your own and store them, you could do so as well, but you would see reports and analytics from within that tab. And so that's largely a sneak peek at the UI. And then usually we close these out with the creation of a simple transaction. So in this case, we're going to create a simple purchase order. And so when I click that, it's going to bring a dialog box. So first you're going to see different styles here. And really this could change the way the form is laid out. It could change how it interacts with different transactions. Next, you assign a procurement BU, potentially a requisitioning, or actually for sure a requisitioning BU. I can assign a supplier here or wait. What's also really nice too is I can do partial entry. That's what happens when you don't do it correctly. I can put in, for example, just Lee for Lee suppliers. And if that's enough to uniquely identify the supplier, it pre-populates all this information. I then obviously need a currency, and I have to select a buyer. and this will bring up or open my purchase order. So this is nice also. I don't have to put in my supplier, but it's nice because it's all nice and compactly added. So you can see that the data values that I added are now defaulting on my PO. It went out and got my last PO, incremented 1. Status is incomplete simply because I haven't completed. Here's my buyer. Obviously, creation date is today. The supplier that I brought in. If for any reason, let's say here's Lee's supplies, contact Ryan Lee. But let's say it doesn't go to Ryan. I want to send to a group sales at email address. I can just assign or override a different email here. So I've got some build to location and ship to. So this is defaulting unless it comes from a requisition that uses a custom or drop ship or one-time address. Next, I've got currency. I've got an order amount. Depending on how you set up, or if you set up tax, you'll see an estimated tax there. I think what's also really important is the description. So I harp on this quite a bit, but a lot of when we get going in implementations and the consultants leave, all of the users will have a series of hundreds or thousands of different orders. So they have to be really smart about how they craft their descriptions so they can uniquely get to the order that they want, in this case, the PO. So then if you have a requisition, it's linked here, agreement, it's linked here. As we saw on the agreement, if you want to go out and see all of the different agreements that are for that supplier, Lee Supplies, and assign one, you could do that here on the master contract. If we scroll down a little bit, here's the terms, particularly around freight and payment terms that are important here. You'll also see notes and attachments. So very similar to what we saw on the purchase agreements overview or sneak peek video. Now you have attachments here that are just for the purchase order. The category determines who sees where they go, and you attach your document here. Very easy. Next, the ability to enter the lines of the PO, and then obviously each line has a schedule, more than one or more, and distributions. 5 chairs get distributed, 2 here, 3 there, etc. You understand. Next, if you have PO contract terms here, you can use templates, any of the templates, even templates from contracts. However, this is not stored in the contracts table, and you want to understand that difference as well as the functionality you do not get by using this particular PO terms, because it is not the same as contract, even though you can use the contract terms. So that's a little bit of an overview of the purchase order functional work area, and then a quick walkthrough of how to create a PO transaction. So that's it for this video, and thank you for watching.